Following James Franklin's recent departure at Penn State, we're keeping an eye on Luke Fickell at Wisconsin and Jonathan Smith at Michigan State. Are their seats getting hot? We'll discuss. Locked on Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked on Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked on Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. And I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked on Podcast Network. Hit that free subscribe button down below. That way you'll never miss a single episode. And if you can also share, follow, and like, that'd be great. And you can hype YouTube videos as well now. So, hot seats at Wisconsin and Michigan State. Maybe it's cooled off a little bit at Wisconsin. Plus, we'll do a reality check here on this whole situation and take a peek at what we're doing over the weekend as well. But let's get into it, because this is on the heels of James Franklin's firing at Penn State. So we're wondering who else is in trouble in the Big Ten. I mean, we've seen other conferences firing people left and right all of a sudden. It must be firing season. So two to watch in the Big Ten, at least I thought until today. Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, and of course, Jonathan Smith at Michigan State. Now, they got a situation where they're sort of kind of still paying Mel Tucker. They're still suing to see if they have to pay or not. But anyway, they got a lot on their plate over there. So let's start with the Luke Fickell situation at Wisconsin, because I think that football situation is worse at Wisconsin, but the coaching stability may be better. So let's talk about this, because I think he's got the more stable job here. Apparently, according to the Wisconsin State Journal, athletic director Chris McIntosh, who was a former player there at Wisconsin, by the way, he apparently does not plan on firing Luke Fickell. And all the players expect Fickell to be back next season. So not only will he not get fired at the end of the year, it looks like he's coming back next season. So we'll talk about that in just a second. We'll first of all talk about how bad things are at Wisconsin on the football field. They haven't scored in 2 games. They've been shut out back-to-back games, Iowa and Ohio State. What's even worse is those 2 losses were at home in front of the home fans. Hey, Camp Randall, happened and seen, jump around. No, nobody's jumping around. Nobody's excited. It's a problem when you suffer those shutouts at home. So, in fact, Badger fans, they haven't actually seen their team score at home since they squeaked out 10 points in the second half against Maryland back on September 20th. And if you remember, the Badgers were actually shut out in the first half of that game. It's not good. I'm wondering if they're going to score again. I think the shutout streak can continue for a few more quarters. They're at number 6, Oregon, this week. That's not going to be easy to score. They host a good Washington team after that. Then they go to Indiana. That's going to be tough. Then another ranked team in Illinois. And then they close it out at Minnesota. Now, I would have told you a couple weeks ago, all right, maybe they can stop the bleeding and win the last game of the season against Minnesota. But not after what I saw Minnesota do on Friday to Nebraska, who at the time was ranked 25th in the country. They sacked Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola 9 times. That's a school record. I didn't give up a touchdown. Nebraska had 2 field goals in that game. That's it. So now all of a sudden the Minnesota game's looking pretty tough for Wisconsin too. So overall, you know the drill. We're 2.5 seasons in the Luke Fickell regime. He's 15-18 there. 0-4 in the Big Ten this year. Getting shut out, getting blown out. Again, realistically, I don't know if there's another win on the schedule this year. We all agree it's the toughest schedule in the Big Ten. There's no doubt about that. But they could crash and burn down to the finish line and end up 2-10. In year 3 for a coach, that usually doesn't bode well. And if you go 0 for the Big Ten, you know, and I know that scenario I just laid out, not winning a conference game, 2-10, year 3 for a coach, getting shut out regularly. 99.9% of the time, that results in a scenario where the coach is fired. You know it, I know it. Any school in America, any level, that's what's going down. And yet, athletic director Chris McIntosh, he, first of all, a week or so ago, gave the old dreaded vote of confidence for his coach. I say dreaded because usually when a vote of confidence is given, the coach is fired shortly thereafter because there are problems. So apparently he met with the players, and the players reportedly left that meeting feeling like not only is Luke Fickell going to be around the rest of the year, so don't worry, he's going to be back next year. Didn't see that coming. Didn't have that on my bingo card today. Apparently, that McIntosh is saying, no, you know what? This is our fault. We haven't given enough resources to Luke Fickell and the Wisconsin football program. We need to spend more money on football, which is true. But wow, how about that for a turn of events? Nothing's going right. We're going to take the blame. We're not going to blame our coach. We have to get him more money at Wisconsin. Probably bad news for the basketball team. Probably going to take money out of that pot and put it in the other one, which they probably should have done in the first place. Exhibit A, Indiana. It's a basketball school. Not anymore. Putting the resources into football. Look what's happened. I think other schools will follow suit if they haven't already. Look, here's the deal. I think Luke Fickell's a good football coach. I do. And just this season and this program got away from him. Off to a bad start, and it got worse. I think overall, Wisconsin people like the idea of saying, hey, look who we got. We got Luke Fickell as our coach, because he was regarded as a very good football coach. He's got Ohio State ties, and he did a great job at Cincinnati a few years ago. He is a good football coach. So I think they're excited. They were excited when they got him. I think they like the idea of telling people, hey, Luke Fickell's in charge of our program, and it just hasn't gone well. And they knew that this schedule was going to be brutal this year, so they gave him an extension in his contract in the offseason, which I think was purposefully done to say, well, we can't get rid of him. We just give him an extension. We know the schedule's going to be tough. We might. I told you all offseason. I said, look, there's a possibility that Wisconsin could be better this year, and you would never know it because their record would not be better than 2024. Well, boy, is that the case. I don't know if they're better, but their record is not going to be better or match last year's. So they knew all this. I think they set it up so where they could keep Fickell. I think that's what's going on here. But I also don't think they were expecting 2-10, which is what I think they're looking at. Now, let's take a look at the Michigan State situation. Following Michigan State's loss to Indiana on Saturday, the Spartans suffered 4 straight double-digit losses now. And I was the first one in line to criticize them 2 weekends ago when they lost to UCLA, because I thought they gave up. I thought they quit. Gave up 38 unanswered points in that game. But they did not quit. They came ready to play at Indiana, one of the best teams in the country. They gave it to them in the first half. Controlled the ball for 19 minutes. So, okay, well, I could blame a coach for a team quitting on them against UCLA. I could also give them credit for getting the guys ready to play. They were fired up and ready to play Indiana. Indiana was just a better team, too much talent, more talented, pulled away in the second half. Here's the biggest problem for Jonathan Smith at Michigan State. It's Indiana. Not because they just lost to Indiana, although that didn't help. But he and IU coach Curt Cignetti came in at the same time. Their schools hired them at the same time. Indiana's lost 2 games since then. Michigan State can't get going. They're stuck in second gear. And when you compare the two, Michigan State fans going, well, wait a minute. Why can't we do what Indiana's doing? So it's like the old saying, Nick Saban got a lot of SEC coaches in his tenure because everybody was trying to catch him and they couldn't. Everybody wanted the next Nick Saban. Starting to happen with Curt Cignetti. Other schools going, well, why can't we turn around as quick as he did? So anyway, I think I've read some rumblings this weekend that, Jonathan Smith, maybe hot seat, whatever, but they got a big game this weekend against Michigan. And these rivalry games, they're funny because while Michigan's trying to sort out who they are and Michigan State's struggling, these rivalry games, if you win them, they could really sustain your career. If you lose them, they can shorten your career in a heartbeat. Anyway, we'll love your comments on both those coaching situations, Michigan State, and what do you think about Wisconsin? And what do you think about the fact that it looks like they're going to stick with them through all this and trying to get them some more help? I bet a lot of other coaches wish they had that kind of support. Anyway, love to hear you in the comments section. If you are new, we're here every day. And then we go live on the weekends. But we're here every day. Don't miss out. Be part of the Big Ten Club. And you can subscribe for free and join our group. And that way you'll never miss a single episode. Plus, if you want, we're on audio only. In addition to the video on YouTube, we're on Apple or Spotify. Don't forget, we have a website, talkbig10.com with the number 10. You can check that out for our podcast and school merchandise. You want a Michigan State shirt? You want a hat from Indiana? We got it all right there. Links with all of our podcasts. You can check that out. I'm going to run down our actual game plan for our live broadcast this weekend. Got all that coming up here. We'll take a look at the whole slate real quick in just a minute on Locked On Big Ten. Monarch helps you find your money. I mean, let's be honest. Your money's probably everywhere. You probably have a bank account, savings account, probably credit cards you keep track of, investments, 401ks, the whole deal. Pull it all together with Monarch. They make it easy. You can see everything right there. That way you're not leaving money on the table. For those people who are busy but meaning to reorganize finances, Monarch is for you. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in a clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. You can bring in your spouse or significant other's information with you as well. Their visual dashboards and smart tools make it a lot easier to understand where your money is going and how to make it work harder for you. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege at monarch.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarch.com. Code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. If you're a fan, I know you get a little charge watching games, right? We're all passionate fans. Well, you get a little more of a charge, a little more excitement. You got something on it with FanDuel. We're in the middle of the NFL season here, and FanDuel has an offer that you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. You pick a bet, put down $5. If it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And the app is super easy to use. Point spreads, games by schedule, teams, all right there. You can parlay stuff, futures, props, all right there. And when you win, paybacks are quick. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get yourself started. You want to actually go to a game? You need a ticket. You need Game Time. Get the Game Time app. College football, we're right literally in the middle of the season. And we talk about the games. You talk about the games. Maybe you and your friends are going, hey, let's actually go to a game. Do you know with Game Time, you could go to a college football game for $25? You can. You want to be part of the tailgates, the rivalries, the energy you get at a live event like that. Actually getting tickets sometimes can be a bit of a battle, but not with Game Time. If you're in charge of getting tickets, don't sweat it. You got it. You avoid the endless lines. You don't get, hidden fees. Prices are right there at checkout the whole time. You know exactly what you're getting. I like the fact that you can see the view of the seat of the ticket you're about to buy. It's a couple of taps, boom. Maybe as little as $25. You're there. You're going to the game. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, the promo code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, download Game Time today. Thanks for checking us out here on Locked On Big Ten, you everydayers especially. Thank you very much. All right, we got a slate of games this weekend of the Big Ten. By the way, 4 teams are on bye this week. USC, Penn State, Maryland, Ohio State. Starts off UCLA at Indiana. Big noon kickoff on Fox. Northwestern Nebraska at noon FS1. These are Eastern times. Rutgers at Purdue, noon, Big Ten Network. Illinois at Washington, 3:30 on the Big Ten Network. 12:30 on the West Coast if you're in Washington. Minnesota's at Iowa for the 3:30 Eastern time on CBS, and Wisconsin is at Oregon, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific on FS1. Michigan is at Michigan State. That is the 7:30 NBC game of the week. We will go live right after that game for my immediate raw reaction to that game, your comments to that game, and the entire day of Big Ten action. We'll cover all that. In fact, Wisconsin and Oregon should be over just about that time as well. We'll talk about that as well. So mark your calendars to join us Saturday night, probably going to be around 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific. We look forward to seeing you there as well. Follow us on Twitter in the meantime at Talk Big Ten, our website, talkbig10.com. But before you go, hit that subscribe button. It's free. You'll never miss a single episode. Maybe go back and check out yesterday's podcast for a second listen. And Shout out for you college football fans, because Locked On and Fire TV present the College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll from Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation along two-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, and also former college star Jesse Holley, and then our Locked On experts. And they mix it all up, chop it all up, boom, you're ready to go for the weekend. College football preview that only Locked On could do. Catch the College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. That'll do it for us. We're rolling through another game week. We're very excited about it. Thanks for joining us, and I can't wait till we meet again tomorrow for Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman. We'll see you next time.